Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals, and they're about to make that very clear. So just kick back and hang with them, because you've earned it. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Walking Blind Podcast. This is episode 55, and this is round 2 because, you know, this is a show where we like to normalize checking in on the homies. I'm Mike, that's also Mike, and we got our boy Chris Ballard in the fucking house right now. This is our second attempt at this episode because the first one we got a little too distracted, we got a little too excitable,
yes.
We got a little too hype, so we had to redo it because we had some camera shots that were just like us sitting here.
Yes.
So here it is, round 2.
Round two.
What's up, man?
We can start it right where we left off with aliens.
So first off, I want to say happy birthday.
Thank you.
It was earlier this month.
On the 1st.
How old are you now?
39.
Nice.
Mike's still older than me.
You can tell by the grays. Right?
Oh, dude, my beard is nothing but love.
Looks cool though.
It does look cool, and that's also because Mike can't grow a beard, so
I can't.
they go hand in hand.
This is laziness. This is not self-care.
It looks good though.
It looks good.
I feel like you should grow it out.
Mm-hmm.
What's the longest you've let your beard grow?
Pretty long. I feel like I had it pretty long during the pandemic.
Like I think what's the longest stretch that you've gone without shaving your beard?
Well, I mean, tour. Is that, I guess, like 2 months probably.
Okay. How much grows during, how long is that so far?
6 months.
No, that's a couple of weeks. It was like,
Mike,
but
let it
it's
grow.
no, because it's only here and then here and then like there's nothing on my cheeks except like like literal weird patches. I don't know.
Dude, let this grow then. Let the mustache grow.
Beard oil.
Oh, dude, the mustache.
It's
Okay,
beard oil. Or fish oil.
we thought it'd be on Warped Tour. We thought it'd be cool to not shave,
Yeah.
and then we're like, it'd be even cooler if we got mustaches. And I was trying to hustle our CD, and I heard someone say, "He's not even in the band. He just found the CDs and he's trying to sell them."
What?
Yeah, I heard someone say that as I was trying to hustle an MBR CD.
For real?
Somebody's like, "He's not even in that band. He's just trying to sell those CDs."
That's weird.
Yeah, because I looked super beaner.
Were you
Super.
I was so tan. I was so tanned from Warped Tour, and then I had my
Vote for
mustache
Pedro.
grows in pretty well. That's about it though.
Looks good.
yeah.
You know what though? Like mine, if I don't let it grow out, it's not real thick. The only reason why it looks thick is because it's all one length.
Yeah.
And
But you also trim your cheeks and then let
Yeah.
the chin grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, nothing grows on my cheeks, dude. Maybe I can do a sick like
Dude, a chin strap,
chin
dude.
strap, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The 90s are back, I
Dude,
feel, so.
do the chin strap and shave the mustache like Everlast.
Ooh,
Like just a little line, like that real thin line.
Like a little
across the
itty
lip.
bit, like 3 hairs.
Yeah.
dang, maybe I'll do that.
Dude, that'd be so sick.
I want to look like a cartel drug lord.
Get you a cowboy hat.
Like, Mike, this is the most Hispanic you've ever looked.
I know.
This is impressive.
See.
I'm still waiting for our representation in Yellowstone.
Thank you. Almost died.
All right. All right. Well, let's throw it back. Let's throw it back to early days. We've had this conversation before, but we're gonna have it again because damn it, then we're gonna make this shit happen.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the history between you two because I know this goes way back to the way back to the high school days. Right?
Yeah.
That's it.
I think we figured out it was summer school.
Yeah.
Freshman year summer
Yep.
school.
Yeah.
Freshman year summer school.
Which, you know, had I been a good student, we wouldn't have met.
And if I had been a good student, I wouldn't have had to go to summer school.
Yeah, same.
It was fate. Both.
Yeah, my school didn't have summer school, so I had to go to public school because I went to private school. And that's where I met Chris, because I would drive with Lee,
Yeah.
my neighbor.
Good old Lee. That's how I remember we used to go skateboarding at Lee's and used to be able to hear no bragging rights practice. And
Lee was the neighborhood kid that had like the half pipe, right?
Yeah.
It was like the
half pipe, his backyard had rails and
sick. Okay.
all that. So it was one of those things where I played in a band and there was a band. I'm like, who's that? He goes, it's Mikey. And went over there and yeah.
You're like the weird, quiet dude.
Yeah. We went together like peas and carrots.
For a while when you were younger, Mike, did people not believe that you would like be the lead singer of a band just because your demeanor was so calm and so like
Yeah, I've had that literally my whole life.
yeah.
And then even when like obviously like when we would travel and we looked like we're in a band, we're all wearing black.
Yeah.
No one ever guesses on the vocalist,
Think you're like a bass player?
bass player, drums. I get drummer a lot.
Really?
Yeah,
Who would they think is the front man?
Rick, depending on at that time.
Yeah, I can see that.
I've had people even think Martin is, because Martin can be like outgoing and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a funny story.
Christian,
There's a
literally everyone but me.
There's a fun. Huh? You gonna go again? So
this
anyway, next subject. Martin. So through all the bands I've been in, me and my cousin Neil started a metalcore band that was a mix of like Killswitch Engage, As I Lay Dying, Unearth.
as you do at that time because
Yeah, that's right at that time. Metalcore was kind of
yeah.
and we were trying out different drummers nonstop, trying to find a good one. And this dude came up, played drums really, really good, and we liked him. And he goes, "Oh man, I like the way you guys play. I like your guys' sound. You guys seem cool people." He goes, "I got to go try out for one more band tomorrow, and I'll make the choice." I'm like, I know a lot of people. I'm like, "Well, what band is it?" He goes, "Oh, a band called No Bragging Rights." I'm like, "Fuck." I'm like, "Just go with them." I'm like, "We'll find another one, dude." I'm like, "They're buddies. Just go play with No Bragging Rights." And he goes, "How the hell do you know them?" I'm like, "It's a long story."
Long story. But just
It's a long story.
A series of unfortunate events.
Yeah.
Dude. It's funny. And then we only know of Martin because the drummer. So Martin tried out as a singer for our friend Laverne and Dave's band.
yeah.
And when they were just hanging out, Martin just sat down on the kit and started playing.
Yeah, he asked
Really?
Laverne, he's like, "Hey, can I play?" And Laverne's like, "Yeah, dude, whatever." Like, just thinking like, "Oh, as a singer, just wanted to do like, like
And then just took off.
and he just
Well, Laverne immediately went and called Williams and was just like, "Hey, you guys looking for a drummer, right? Well, freaking this guy named Martin, you should come get him," because he was afraid that Martin was going to take over his spot.
I used to play in a band with Chris Williams too.
Oh, yeah.
Second Chance.
Yeah. Is that when I met?
Yeah.
Well, that's when I met Chris,
Yeah.
because I already knew you.
Yeah. Already knew me. It's when we were playing. We used to play
Roller
at
City 2001.
Yeah, the skating rink all
oh,
the
dude,
time.
yeah.
Skating rink shows, dude.
They would take the skating rink, and there was a whole section on the side, and my buddy Joey knew the owner.
Yeah.
So they gave him money and was like, "Hey, we want to try and have bands." Well, he knew me from Red Letter Day, and I was like, "Oh, let me get all my buddies' bands." So it was like us, No Bragging Rights, Oblige, and then Second Chance.
Yeah.
And I wasn't in Second Chance when they played, but then they played, and they had such a big turnout. They would sell more tickets to these little shows on Friday night than they would people to come and go skating.
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy because like that seemed to be like a theme across the country with skating rinks, right? Like skating rinks were just starting to shut down left and right, and then they would bring in bands to like local bands to play
Yeah.
shows, and that's how you would get kids in the door.
Yeah.
And it didn't last as long, but
So the first time I saw a codenamed Rocky was at a skating rink.
dude, I drove up to San Jose to go watch one of your shows at a skating rink with Radio Suicide.
Dude.
Before Creative Void started with Jake, me, Austin, and Abraham drove up to San
right.
Jose and went and saw you guys play at San Jose Skate.
Dude, wasn't actually never mind. I'm not gonna remember his name.
It was with Radio Suicide and Love Hate Hero.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played.
Dude.
What was the name of that skating rink we played with in Hemet when we played with Sugar Cult?
Wheelhouse.
Yeah. So
Can we, go ahead.
so the promoters that were booking No Bragging Rights, started going through them a lot. So, and they found out we were all friends. So every time I'll be on their, at the time, MySpace or whatever, would be popular, or I'd call them, hey man, you guys got any shows coming up? And I'm like, oh, who's playing? So all the shows No Bragging Rights were playing, we ended up being able to hop on with them.
Yeah, just like the homies.
Yeah.
And, we all draw. So.
And we played so much, the promoter would book them a show, and I make calls, hey, No Bragging Rights is playing, you guys want to hop on? And I'm like, sure. And we played with, it was us, them, and I think another band, and then Sugar Cult. And that was a horrible experience.
Was that when you got rockstarred?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
That was horrible.
Would you like to tell that story?
Have I told it on the podcast?
I don't know if
think
you have
so.
or not. I don't think you have.
I
Jesse,
don't
do you know
think
this
so.
story? Okay,
No?
so no.
Yeah, so we got asked to play, and I only knew who they were because the promoter was just like, "Hey, this is actually because we're all promised like, hey, if you sell tickets and you do this and that, you'll play with the national act."
Yeah.
So this was the first time where it actually was like, "Hey, we can get you on this.
Yeah,
they're,
guess what?
they're a national act now, or at least on the radio." And then he told me the name, and I was just like,
This was the height of like what, memory? Probably.
Yeah.
And then like bouncing off the walls again. And,
Oh yeah.
Bounce Off the Walls again, I think was on the had just come out on the radio.
Yeah.
So like I remember thinking like, oh, it's like sick. This is cool. We're gonna play with they're super poppy, but they're gonna like bring people.
I thought when we figured we're playing with Sugar Cult, because I knew who they were gonna go up. There's gonna be a lot of people. There was nobody there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the few and there was.
Yeah.
It was a very young crowd, and that's us saying that we were probably just out of high school or maybe in high school.
Yeah.
And it was
17, 18.
Yeah, I think we were still in high school.
Yeah.
And so, like for as awkward as I can be, I've always been pretty assertive at shows.
Yeah.
Talk to bands. Like I've always been
Like
good at networking.
this is your domain.
Yeah.
This is what you do. Like
Yeah. And so, I'm kind of walking around, saying what's up to everyone. Then I just happened to see a dude. I didn't know who he was. And I go to him and I was like, hey, what's up, man? I'm Mike from No Bragging Rights. What band are you in? And he just like paused and it was just like, Sugar Cult.
Oh.
And I was like, so as soon as I was like, ooh, it's on. Like,
what if he were to reach out today and be like, hey man, let me come on the podcast. Let's talk.
let's hash this out. Dude,
Let's hash this out.
I mean, I wouldn't care now. It's funny to me now, but like
20 years later.
Dude.
Let's hash this out.
yeah. He's like Sugar Cult. And so right away, I was like, Sugar Coma? He's like, Sugar Cult. I was like, I know the chick band, Sugar Coma. Do you remember Sugar Coma?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really did. Like that was
When I tell you guys that a lot of you guys don't know the savage side of Mike, this is just a little glimpse into savage Mike over here.
yeah. And so he's like, so I was like, oh, I know the chick band, Sugar Coma. He's like, no, Sugar Cult, the band you're opening for. And so I was just like, right on. You're the one that brought all the little 14-year-old girls. Have a good set, guy. Like walked away. I was like, dude, fuck this band. I remember going like telling everyone. I was like, dude, fuck these guys.
So mad about it.
I was so mad. We didn't even stay.
No.
Like
I remember because Red Letter Day, we got put on the bill last, so of course we opened.
Right.
But I was like, whatever. And we never had the rock star mentality. We just went to play shows and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were done with our set, he came up to me and goes, hey man, the crowd's supposed to be excited to see us. I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean the crowd's supposed to be excited to see you? I'm like, I would think you'd be happy that we're hyping up the crowd for you. Yeah, the opening band's not supposed to get that big of a reaction.
I think that almost sounds like he was trying to be funny, but like in a dickhead kind of
Yeah.
way.
I just gave him a thumbs
that's
up.
like a weird flex.
Yeah.
Like I remember the 10 for 10 hardcore tour when we got added on for the Hollywood shows, and we opened and one of the photographers was like, I've never heard a local band that actually sounds sick. I was like,
the best burn. But like not even trying
cool
to.
dude. Thanks man. Like it's like such a bad like it's almost like I'm trying to be funny and conversate with you, but at the same time like you're still being an asshole.
Yeah.
You know?
And I remember we waited, and I was like, oh yeah, I only came here to see my play and see No Bragging Rights. So I remember we waited, we loaded all our stuff, they played, and like half the people left.
Yeah.
And it was like, screw you guys, this is not.
Yeah. And that was a time when like I felt like all of us, we all had good show etiquette.
Yeah.
Like I think like we would have stayed the entire night. Like I planned to stay.
Yeah.
I planned to watch Sugar,
Yeah.
And just from that, I was like, dude, fuck these guys. And then they were just being like lame. I think they even like they did the whole like they like stayed outside while we played, whatever. They just kind of peek in. And so yeah, pretty much like after we were done playing, we're like, all right, let's get out of here.
That sucks.
And I've always been the one, whether we open or whether we headline, I've always stayed for the entire show no matter what.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the last band plays at midnight. I've always stayed because they're there, so why not
Yeah.
at least support them too?
I remember having, dang, it's weird. I haven't had to go back into like that time. I remember having the thought of like, before we like, get into the show and thinking like, dang, like this is kind of cool because we'll be able to play and I can like mosh. I don't have to worry about like hurting myself or whatever. Like, and then that would be cool because like, I get to participate in hopefully like stage or something like stage dive during their set, hopefully I can become friends with these guys.
Yeah.
And then from just that to being like, dude, I can't wait to fucking leave after I set. I probably said, dude, I think I said some shitty things on stage too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said some shitty things. I don't remember what I said, but I'm pretty sure it was shitty.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I was in high school.
That was and it was all the way out in
Damn it.
fucking middle of Hemet.
And back then there was nothing in Hemet.
There's still not.
Well, it's become a lot more residential than it was.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
That's the sugar cult. I almost said sugar coma again. Sugar cult story.
Sugar cult. I'm gonna find that guy and send him this podcast.
It's still, it's still funny to me when like they come on because like this is like over 20 years later, and and like I don't care that much. It's more like funny to me now.
It's entertaining, like just the idea of.
It's gotta be 02.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was 02.
02. Because me and Claudia have been together since 04.
Are they still a band? Is Sugar Cult still a band?
You have to ask that question.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, anyway, next subject.
Oh man, and then so right around the time I met you, was you were promoting and booking for
Me and my cousin had Endline Entertainment.
Yeah, and so we did a few shows with you.
Yeah.
And then I specifically remember, and this clicked with me the other day, and I was gonna text you about it, but I remember being at that Mutant House show,
yeah,
which was sponsored by VIP, right?
Yeah,
and like you gave me a case of VIP, I was like, okay, cool, sick, and I threw it in the car, and then I came back, and the singer of some band. It was just this kid with like just his hand tattoo.
Misery Loves Comfort,
and he was like, was that it?
Yeah.
He was like sitting there like this. And I was like, dude, are you okay? And he's like, oh, and then you were like, he's all fucked up. He drank way too many energy drinks.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And you're like, dude, he just had way too many. And I was like, how do you like OD on energy drinks? I don't understand. I guess
dude,
he was
those
like,
VIPs.
does he have like heart palpitations or something like that? Like
those VIP energy drinks, they were fucking hard.
They were gnarly. They tasted delicious.
Oh, they were good.
But they were so gnarly.
I think that was like one of the funnest things we did when we booked shows was we got so much stuff for free.
Yeah.
Because, I came from music, and then me and my cousin had Purity, and then Purity ended. And then we were like, hey, you know what? We still want to be involved with music. Let's start booking shows.
Yeah.
And booked shows with no one helping us out. But then after slowly, we had like Shameless in Clothing, Local Threads, VIP energy drinks, Madison Cabs.
That's right, Madison.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Red Bull, Red Devil Music, like tons. I mean, there was tons of people. That was a big one. Unleashed Entertainment. There was a bunch of people that were like involved with it. And it got fun, but then after a while, it because we didn't require the bands to sell the tickets,
right?
But we at least wanted them to at least try. If you didn't sell the tickets, I have a horrible story about the whiskey. So I didn't want to put a band. Oh no, sorry man, you owe me $700.
Right.
So you man, sell whatever you can, bring me the tickets back. We'll try and hustle them out. out front. So we never really did it. We didn't make a whole bunch of money doing it. We did it just
More out of fun.
more out of fun than not anything. And so my son is 13 and a half, and Claudia was the one at the door, at the gate thing with the counter with the big old pregnant belly, collecting tickets and money from everyone and checking all the bands in and checking this and that. And
what happened to that place? What happened to that venue?
they
Because it was legit. It was like a house.
It was a
like
chicken coop.
It was a chicken coop,
in the
yeah.
back. Yeah.
It was a chicken coop, and the owner's son, I don't even remember the name of his band, but Neil found it, and we started booking shows there. They're like, "Oh yeah, you come on down." So our first show there was like Planes Crash. Man, I have flyers everywhere, but I don't remember. I just remember Planes Crash was one of the main bands that played.
Yeah.
And they drew it was a huge success, and the owner was like, "Hey man, so how much did you guys make?" And we're like, "I don't know." And after that show, I think we made like close to like $2,000.
Yeah.
Me and my cousin were like, "Oh shit!" So the owner of the place, never wanted. He only wanted, I think it was 180 a show to pay for lights and the mixing, and he kept everything from like the snack bar and food and drinks and all that.
Right.
And some shows didn't make a whole lot. I mean, it got so big. We had booking guys that did nothing but rap, people that did nothing but hardcore, metal, and then rock. And so we started noticing that the hardcore and like the rock stuff was more profitable
Yeah.
than all the other ones. And then as the shows got bigger and the Mutant House got more known, there was people started wondering where the hell are all these cars coming from, and they got shut down. They weren't permitted.
Yeah.
You know, they basically built a chicken coop into a
into a venue, and it was sick.
Yeah,
Like
it was
I
cool.
remember, like the show being fun.
yeah, and it was tiny, so maybe
Like 30 kids looked like a ton.
yeah. And I remember walking up there. We used to throw shirts out, and you walk out, there was maybe like 100, maybe 150 kids, and it just looked packed from the stage all the way to the snack bar. And I'm like, damn, this looks how packed is this place? And I don't remember who you guys played with. But I remember we booked No Bragging Rights a lot there. Mm-hmm. Creative Void.
Was that before the Nevaeh Tears there? Because I feel like
That was after.
Yeah.
That was after Nevaeh Tears and the whole Embers of Me.
Because the Nevaeh Tears era was like when I moved out here.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know about Nevaeh Tears and all that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So did you know a Ty before Burner State?
No.
No? Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, I knew Ty all the way back from No Alliance.
Yeah. Yeah, I met Ty I met Ty at Mike's birthday party, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I think that was the first time I met Ty. And then through all the Burner State shows and everything else.
Oh, nice.
Just a really quick No Alliance story. So No Alliance was our buddy Ty. He was in that band, and actually one of MBR's many guitar players, Jameson, was in that band as well.
I remember Jameson. He was good.
And and so we had booked some shows up north, and so we brought them, and I think we were able to get them on one or two of the shows. Maybe just one of the shows. Mm-hmm. And so, but they were like all excited to drive up, you know.
So they just cruised along with you guys.
Yeah.
And like if they got on, they got on. If not,
Well, no, we got them on the first show,
okay.
and then I think I can't remember. I don't think we got them on the other shows. I think we couldn't get them on the other shows, but they did. I know for sure they did one of them, and so we got hotel rooms.
Yeah.
You know, we got hotel rooms next to each other, and so since we were like, I think because we were like the only ones who were like 18, so we went and got the rooms, and then they, you know, because they were a little bit younger than us. So we get there before the show, and since we got the rooms, we like, you know, wanted to play a prank on them. So we like cranked their heat.
Oh my
we like
God.
took the mattresses off. We put the chairs on the beds. I think like someone shit in the toilet, didn't
I'm seeing
flush.
a whole new side of you.
And you know, but it was just like it was a, you know, just like a fun little a fun
Yeah,
thing.
they call
You
it
don't-
tour shenanigans.
you don't shit in the toilet. You shit in the
sink?
no, not in the. Well, we did that too. But you in the tank.
Oh,
So every time they
Oh
flush,
my God.
it's just
More
fucking
poop.
shitty water every
Just
time.
caca.
So we did this fun prank, and then we go to the show, and the show is rad, and we're hanging out. I think the show was like I can't remember if it was San Jose. It's either Fresno or San Jose. I forget where it was, but we have a good time. We stop to eat, and when we come back to our cars, their van got broken into, and so their gear was stolen.
Fuck.
And so, we're going through all that, making police report and all that stuff, and then
They have to
we have to go back to the hotel.
It's all shitty.
Yeah, and it was such a crazy moment that we forgot
Yeah.
as we're going back to the hotel until we get to the hotel and we're like, "Fuck." I remember
These dudes have been through enough.
yeah, and so I remember it was just one of those things where we want you guys to know that we're gonna help you guys put it back together, but this was supposed to be.
Remember this story?
This was supposed to be funny. I would imagine.
Can we FaceTime him?
Dude, we opened it up and there was just no response. They were just kind of so defeated. It was a good prank. So I'm pretty sure Ryan Severs and I were
got me.
and I think Jose was in the van. We're like, you know what? You guys just hang out. We'll put it back.
They're smiling, but there's just a thud tear.
We felt so bad. Dude, MBR has a history of cool pranks backfiring.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. It sucks that their gear was stolen. It would have been so much cooler of a prank if obviously the shittiness hadn't happened before.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Tour shenanigans will always. We could probably do a spinoff of this podcast just called Tour Shenanigans.
You should
just have people tell their craziest tour stories.
That makes me nervous though, because I feel like
there's some that we can't talk about.
Come out.
There's a few that I have a few stories, even just from Warped Tour, where I'm like, I can't talk about that. I can't talk about it.
It's funny. I think one of the craziest stories was with you guys,
Which one?
or actually, you know what? It might have been Radio Suicide. I think it was Radio Suicide.
Was it a Jake story?
No, we have to talk. This one has to be off camera. This one has to be off camera.
We'll be back after this brief intermission.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's not.
Let's all go to the lobby.
But, so yeah.
Me and Mike were playing a lot of shows together.
Yeah.
A lot of different stuff. I remember Showcase. I felt like every weekend we were going to shows at Showcase. I remember the one time we went to Showcase, and at Wheelhouse is when I met Little Chris.
Do you guys feel like let's say Showcase never shut down, right? And then let's say we've had this whole time with Showcase. Do you think that now in our 30s we would still be there every weekend, or would it be more of maybe when the cool shows come out?
I mean, I think it's we still have Chain.
Sure. It's not the same.
Yeah,
Showcase
it's not 15 minutes away.
It's not right there where we can just hop over whenever we're bored.
I mean, I think we definitely would be going back. I think we definitely. I mean, yeah, it holds up, man.
Yeah,
I think the Showcase would be an easier place to do a hometown show type thing.
Oh,
man,
1,000%.
Because it's right in the middle of everything.
That was the hard. That's the hard thing for MBR. We had, we were able to. We had to start booking shows out of my brother's church. We had that for home shows coming back, but it was just I remember our home shows ended up just having to be Chain Reaction. Yeah. Which is cool. Or cool venue.
Or Slide Bar.
Actually, yeah, we did have one.
Yeah. I remember when I was in Red Letter Day, Eric, the guitar player, his uncle used to go to this coffee shop and they had this huge patio. And they used to have different kind of meetings there or whatever. So he's like, hey, because my uncle wants to know if we want to play one of his things. So we went, and it was just our parents and girlfriends and a couple other people.
Was it Mugsy's?
It was Mugsy's. And we would play there, every Friday night. It came to every Friday and Saturday.
Dang.
Then it came to me asking the owner, hey, can we have some of our friends' bands play? Yeah, we'll just start earlier. We had to stop by 10:30. So then it became No Bragging Rights and Red Letter Day. Then it was like Made on Malice, No Bragging Rights, Red Letter Day, Grounded, and like all like the Riverside popular bands was there. And the last show that was ever there was No Bragging Rights played, and it got so big, the whole patio was full, the parking lot was full.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was massive to the point to where the fire marshal came down and shut the show down. It was huge.
Damn.
It went from being just a few people to like it just grew and grew and grew to the point to where, and we didn't play on a stage. It was seriously concrete, like old school, and you had no room to walk, and people were out in the parking lot, and it was fun.
It was so MBR didn't get to play there, but that was the first time that like, because like, and I'm not trying to sound modest, but like especially back then being in a band, I just wanted to play.
Yeah.
There's no thought of like, oh, I hope we get famous, or I hope it was like, it was never really like that like thought like went away super fast.
Yeah.
Like once I realized what punk rock shows were,
Yeah.
and then seeing like, I was like,
Yeah, this isn't necessarily the genre to blow up and be.
yeah.
So there's a story about a punk rock band. I grew up listening to Vandals and all the other Guttermouth and Total Chaos. I don't know if you guys know who Total Chaos is. Huge Total Chaos fan. Grew up listening to them. They've been around for years and years and years. Well, when me and my cousin were booking shows with Endline Entertainment, we were putting together a punk show. Well, I was able to get a hold of Total Chaos's manager, right? Total Chaos is coming down. Got him. Got their fee paid. They come down in the most ghettoest little cars. And it's like no one showed up for them. Nothing. And I'm like, these guys have been around for 30, 40, 50 years. And there's like 20 people out in front of the stage. And I was like, and I asked them, did you guys promote? And they're like, yeah. And I stayed and watched, even though there was no thing. But like, it made me go back to when I was in high school. It's like, these guys have been around forever. Like, punk rock, in my opinion, was always fun to play. Mm-hmm. But I knew there was no mansions or Lamborghinis or Bugattis in punk rock. It was mainly Bugattis. And it was just mainly for the fun of just having fun with your friends and kind of just hanging out. Like, even when we played shows, I always told the guys, hey, let's just go out and act like it's band practice. Let's go make fun of each other.
Yeah. And
Red Letter Day, when we would play all the time, I would auction off the drummer. His girlfriend used to get so pissed. I'd like, so how much can I get for a date for him? Or I remember Red Letter Day's first show, because John, the drummer for Red Letter Day, I used to pee in a punk band with him.
I used to pee in a punk
band? No pants, I used to just pee on stage.
Nice.
That's how it was lisp.
Some fucking Gigi Allen shit.
I used to be in a punk band. Ass. And do we ever play with Gorgeous?
Why am I saying what weird?
Yeah. And that was me. That Greg Pulis was in that band.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So we were in Gorgeous, and Gorgeous broke up, and the band that Eric was playing in broke up. And me and Eric have known each other since like 7th grade. And he called me to go play with him, and so John came in. But we always, our very first show ever, Eric had this blue and green striped sweater on. And, I make fun of everybody. And I'm all, you probably shouldn't have worn that sweater tonight. On stage, in front of everybody. It was our first show, and there was I don't remember I think we played with like Yellow Card and like Dashboard Confessional, and like they were like just starting to get big. So Showcase was packed. Second song in front of everybody, I asked him, hey, doesn't Eric look like the guy from Blue's Clues? He was pissed. He was so fucking mad. He didn't talk to me.
Why do you get mad about stuff like that?
He was so pissed.
Really, but that's weird that he'd be mad about that, because he's so chill about everything.
Yeah, he was so mad. We played our set. He loaded up, went to go talk to me. He goes, don't fucking talk to me. Got in his car and left. And I called him, like, dude, are you really that mad? He goes, why the hell would you say that in front of everybody? I'm like, you're never going to see any of them ever again.
Yeah, it's not a thing.
Yeah, we have all kinds of funny shows. And we had this one song Nick called Asshole. And everybody had their own mic, so I was the one that would make fun of people, but John would always talk into his snare mic, and we played the song, and then one of the guys in the crowd was all, I forget where the show was. It was a place in Rancho. Goodfellas?
Yeah.
I think it's right
sounds
there
like-
by like Ontario Mills or something like that. It's like a pub. Have you ever played there or been there? So the guys, I'll play it again. And like, without even skipping a beat, John's all, sorry, dude, we only do one asshole a night. And so it was, people started coming to the shows just to kind of see who we'd make fun of, what we would do stupid. And it got fun until it got too serious, and then it wasn't fun no more.
That's funny. I forgot you played in a band with Eric.
Yeah, Eric, Robbie, and John.
Yeah.
John now he's in a Pearl Jam cover band.
Sick.
Yeah, look him up. I don't know the name of him. I'm sure he watches the podcast, but yeah, he's in a Pearl Jam cover band. I know they got a bunch of shows coming up too.
Fuck yeah. I recently I sang at Waffle Night, and
I know. I wanted to go, but I couldn't.
Well, what Waffle Night's so early now?
I know it's at 5.
Like, why does it end by
5 to
7?
I don't know.
What'd you sing?
Well,
Even flow.
Can you give us an example?
I sang I sang Adele when we were young and Turning Tables, and Maroon 5, Must Get Out, She Will Be Loved, Sunday Morning, and Sweetest Goodbye.
Did anybody else?
And the Noisettes, Wild Young Hearts.
So, yeah, nobody else was singing at karaoke.
Nobody else was singing.
It wasn't karaoke.
So it was
it wasn't karaoke. It was us playing. It was
It was a performance.
Scott's son. Yeah, Scott's son. So he did the first half, and then I sang the second half.
So it was a Mike Perez
Kind of. Well,
solo session.
the whole point I was saying this is that original idea was we were gonna do Pearl Jam songs,
Oh.
and then I think we just at some point we just didn't.
If you go to your car right now, what's on the radio?
Well,
Your phone.
it would be. I'll tell you what it is. It would be. It'd be my voice lesson songs that I'm working on.
Christina Aguilera.
So yeah, I'm doing voice.
What is Wendy have you singing now?
Right now, I'm doing Santa Fe for Newsies,
Can you give us a little?
and I'm doing Moving Too Fast from the last 5 years.
Can you give us a little example?
Nice.
No.
Nice. How did singing Softer go?
Dude, I'm curious to see the video because Jonathan he recorded our set.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard it yet or seen it because he did both audio and whatever. And so, yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, I don't sing soft very well. And I don't know what my falsetto really is. It's like I'm guessing the entire time. And so every single song that we did was soft and or had falsetto. So I don't know. I'm curious. I think it went okay. I mean, I know there was like a couple moments where I was like, that wasn't right.
Did anybody leave?
I mean, yeah.
Did anybody just take their waffles and just go, fuck this? And
Well,
walk
I
out?
think they left because I kept making Christmas jokes.
like
Say
what?
go ahead and say a Christmas.
Yeah.
joke.
So I just kept saying, because like, it was one of those things where, this was last week. Yeah, so December.
Yeah.
It's the only waffle night in December. So people would ask, like, are you guys doing Christmas songs? Or like, what Christmas song are you doing? And then, I'd be like, oh, we're doing She Will Be Loved. And they're like, what? The Christmas song She Will Be Loved. Anyway, so like, I would make just like small jokes about it. Like, hey, for Christmas time is here. So this is the Christmas song about, I don't know what I said. I was just saying like, I'd make like dumb jokes about, oh, this is another holiday.
It's really awesome to see you just like get nervous and lock up when we tell you to tell a joke.
I know.
Tell a joke for us.
Tell a joke, yes?
Tell a joke, yes?
Dance monkey.
Make us think funny jokes.
I got a question for you. If your right leg was
8
Christmas
inches.
and your left leg was New Year's, could I visit between the holidays?
Sure could.
Nice.
I was waiting just to get a reaction from Jessica.
Jesse's trying so hard to be quiet on this episode, and like I'm trying not to look that way because I can see his whole body just like
It's that like that meme, the like a vegan person going like 10 seconds without saying making a vegan reference. But anyway, so yeah, all that to say, it was wanted to sing a Pearl Jam song. Originally we were supposed to do Pearl Jam songs and we didn't.
So how often do they do the waffle night?
Once a month, first Wednesday of every month.
Oh.
5 to 7 p.m.
we are tentatively trying to get a Walking Blind waffle night for 2023.
Oh, that'd be cool.
We're just not sure when yet. We'll go ahead and announce that now.
You can go ahead.
Yeah. 2023. 2023 is going to be interesting for us.
2023 is only 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing for New Year's Eve?
Depends on if I have a little dude or not. For me. Probably do what I do every year, Pinky.
Planning to take over the world?
Plan to take over the world.
Oh, I remember last year's New Year's Eve. I was at work and I came from work straight to the pool hall.
And that was a shit show.
What happened?
That was the beginning of a saga we won't talk about.
Yeah, that was the beginning. Let's just say that like there was this.
Hold on.
There was this.
I want to laugh too.
Oh, what a time!
Well, it was
No,
like
you're not out of time.
I said what a time.
Oh,
like I can't. Okay, I can't. We can't really speak on it, but it was just this stretch of time where I thought my life was over.
Your life.
My life was over.
Your life was over.
I'll tell you more. I'll tell you more about it like off camera because like it's just like absolutely batshit. Like I could tell it on this and nobody would.
nobody would understand.
Yeah, nobody would get it. Nobody would understand. And like I always go, ask Mike. Ask Mike. I'm not bullshitting. And it was just
Mike. That Mike. I mean, he had like basically like receipts for the craziness. Because it gave so much. Like when we talk about it, you'll be like, what? And it's so crazy that, like Mike said, like I'm like I was there. I saw it. I was made witness to it. I didn't want to be, but I was made witness.
Yeah, that was
It made working my crazy job not so crazy.
My mental health was at an all-time low at that point in time.
Yeah, we should revisit those episodes because we were definitely doing the podcast then.
Yeah, we were. It was right at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's a health check was like for real for Mike back then.
Yeah, it was the real deal
real deal.
Holyfield back then. So yeah, I'll fill you in on it, all about it,
dude. Speaking of mental health check,
I'm about to say. Speaking of
that was I was trying to segue into it, but
anyways, so story time is over.
Yeah,
mental health check. So for any new listeners, it's basically where we just check in to see where we're at mentally for the week, and try to talk about either what we're doing that's helping us, if we're in a good place, or maybe we're not in a good place. What are we neglecting to do? So, who wants to go first?
You, Mike.
Me?
You started.
Fine.
Fine.
I'm not
Fine. Mentally, I feel like I'm doing well. This week has been, as I'm talking about it now, it's been like very busy and a lot of food. My brother's birthday was last week, or it was on Friday, and I feel like we've just been celebrating like for the past week and a half. And so, what did we do? Because I feel like we did something. All right. Oh, never mind. I went out to eat with my family, and then I went out. Then I came here.
Yeah.
And
That was when I was texting you, right? You were with making it for last Christmas or something like that.
That was Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I lose track of.
Yeah. So there was that, and so anyway, so it's been cool. I've seen a lot of my family, and I think what I was trying to get at was like my jump roping has been bad this week. That's what I was trying to get.
What I'm trying to say is,
yeah.
Well, what happened was.
Yeah. So, because normally I'm pretty good. Another thing too is like I think I usually try to get my jump roping in now and then in the evening when I'm watching like Yellowstone or something.
Yeah.
And so I haven't really had time to watch Yellowstone, and so I haven't had time to jump rope.
Do you still walk around your guys' island?
I sure do.
Oh, that's good.
I sure do.
It was funny. We were watching Elliot run circles around the tree at Daily Bush.
Daily Bush.
The bush.
What is that?
Daily Bush.
Daily Bush.
One of Mike's websites. One of Mike's.
It's actually my OnlyFans.
Is children allowed?
Elliot, just so you know. No, at Daily Brew, he was running around the bush out front.
To clarify,
Dude,
children.
and just like over and over and over and over again. And Mike was like, I'm getting dizzy watching him. And I was like, this is what you do around your island, huh? He's like,
More a relaxed pace.
yeah, a little more chill. But
So I feel like I'm doing well. I got back on my jump rope this morning, which is good. So hopefully I will carry that through the week. But yeah, I feel like I'm in a good place. Where are you guys at? Christopher?
Remember when Britney Spears shaved her head?
yeah.
About right there.
Yeah, I know you've been kind of like up and down lately, right? Like everything's been kind of all over the place.
There's just.
How are you now?
All right. I work today, so you know it's a hit or miss. You know, life throws different struggles, no matter what. With the issues that's going on with my wife, it's the doctors just make you go in circles.
Yeah.
And it's like, I pay good money for insurance. Give us answers. Don't make us come back.
Right.
So it's always like, oh, we got to refer you to this person. Oh, we got to refer you to that person. So, and it's like with her, it's not getting better. It's, I think, kind of getting worse. And with that, and then the holidays, and then just my work schedule and other stuff going on. So it's up or down, and it's some days are really good and some days are really, kind of tough. And the other day I needed someone to talk to. I ended up calling Jesse, because that was the day that the waffle iron place, whatever it is. And it just at that moment,
That's
like
the Daily Bush.
the Daily Bush.
You could have come hear me struggle with soft songs.
At the Daily Bush, does it have a comb over?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
So you just pick it out.
Disgusting. And just at that moment when I got off work, I try not to show. I always try and put a positive attitude on for my kids and not let them see the stress and the struggle that goes through. Same thing with Claudia. Like if something happened at work, or if I'm stressing about a bill, or just something that I can't avoid stressing them out with, I try and put on the happy face. And it's not a fake happy face. It's just I try and, when I walk in the house, I try and leave everything outside. I don't try not to bring it, but just that day I need someone to talk to, and I hit up Jesse and kind of talked to him for a little bit, and it wasn't, I don't know, it's good days and bad days. And it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, my life is bad. I got a good life. I got a good job. I got good friends around me. It's just that day to day in and out of working, and my wife, and stuff that's going on at work, and stuff that's going on at home, and my kids are assholes, and no, like they're good kids. They're just hi kids. My daughter, she on episode 1
On part one,
she's like, did you talk about me? I was like, I did.
Yeah.
She goes, what'd you say? And I told her, and she was like, why would you talk about me? So now, after the mental health check, I'm going to embarrass her. But it's mental health it's all right. It's just, I don't know. It's a hit or miss.
Well, what are some things when, like on the days where it is down or it's bad? What are some things that you try to do to get you into a better space? I know you said like you try to put on a happy face, but like, are there actual things you're able to do that can get you there, like faster or for reals?
So I think we talked about this on episode 1. I used to watch The Secret a whole lot, you know, and I kind of, you know, not per se live my life around it, but I figured, hey, you know what, if it works for someone, yeah, maybe it'll work for me. So I have a piece of paper and I write down stuff I'm grateful for, you know.
Good, man.
And I have it in my toolbox at work. And 90% of the time when I'm at work, my brain just goes absolutely crazy. So if I know something's going on at home, what the hell was that?
Sorry, you're boring, Jesse.
He's like trying so hard. That's the best part. Go ahead.
So, no, I have a piece of paper and I read it and I go down, you know, stuff I'm grateful for, stuff, you know, so it kind of helps me, you know, get back on track. And I always try and see like the positive side of things. You know, there's always negative no matter what,
right.
But I've always tried to turn a negative into a positive. And one of the things I always say is, you know, I'm sure it happens at your work and your work, Jesse's work, everybody's work. There's going to be certain things that people say or stuff that, hey, did you hear that so-and-so said this? And, you know, it kind of like brings you down. I've always said, you know, don't let someone control your happiness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And so I've always tried to, you know what, maybe they're having a bad day. And I've always had bullies, but I can't stand bullies. You know, I was picked on in elementary school and junior high, then I got to high school and grew a lot taller than everyone, and everyone left me alone. But I've always said a bully is probably the person that is picking on you because they're having the bigger issue than someone else.
Right.
So that's their way of coping with their struggles, is getting, you know, making their friends laugh by picking on you.
Right.
So I've always said, you know, don't let someone control your happiness. So I read my notes and just kind of just try and do stuff to distract myself, like drawing or whatnot. But mental health wise, I'm okay. It's just good days and bad days.
For sure.
You know, I saw this post today, and it like kind of hit with me, and then I like thought about you too, because you know we've kind of talked a little bit about stuff going on, and and it was this post that just said that, and this is, and it kind of ties into like part of, you know, like this show's about mental health, but a big thing that we like to talk about is men's mental health because it's very rarely talked about.
You can put your leg on me if you want.
Thanks,
I don't mind.
So, but one of the things that we like to bring up is that like, yo, like we joke a lot, you know, talk shit, and that like that's just kind of how the dynamic works.
Yeah.
Right. But in a part of that, it's like being comfortable enough to talk about the tough shit.
Yeah.
Right. And so I saw this post today that like it was like it hit home, but it also kind of like it sucks to see it, right? Because there was like it basically said like, you know, as a man, whether you're stressed out about bills, you're stressed out about the mortgage, you're stressed out about work, you're stressed out about your family, you're stressed out about your kids, you know, you feel all these emotions just like anybody else would, right? You're gonna feel this like in your core because, you know, as a man, that's kind of like how we're programmed, is just to provide and to take care of people, right? But we don't talk about it because at the end of the day, it won't matter.
Yeah.
Right. And the mentality and the thinking in that kind of sucks because like it does matter, right? Like having those stresses and having all those feelings and like, you know, like, okay, we got to keep the lights on. We got to keep the, you know, like right at the beginning of December, I have my electric bill set on auto pay with City of Colton. Everything's set on auto pay, so I don't think about it. It just pays itself. Well, I don't know what happened, but the auto pay didn't pay. Right? So then I just get this random notice on my front door that's like all the power and water and everything's going to be shut off if you don't pay this by tomorrow. And it was like 2 months worth of shit.
Holy crap.
And I go, wait, what? Like I was straight up like flabbergasted. Like what is this? Right? I'm like, everything's always paid. So I go and I look, and then I don't know why the auto pay didn't go through. And I was like, so then here I am making this $600 payment where I'm like, fuck it, like it's gotta be paid, right? So I just go make this payment, and you know, she'll probably hear this, and like I was just like, what the fuck, man? Walk back into the house, and I'm like, okay, we just paid $600 for this, and then literally like walk out of this door, walk in to the house, and it's just like oh, just yeah, like nothing happened. Like it's cool, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Because like the mentality and the thought is like, well, this is something I should be taking care of. This
Yeah.
was my problem, right? So why am I going to stress you out about it when
Yeah.
it's something that like, yeah, I should have been paying more attention. I should have looked at this. I should have thought about it. And that mentality is just so ingrained in me that I don't think to go like, oh shit, man, I'm stressed out because I just had to pay this $600 bill.
Yeah.
Right. We don't talk about it, but we should be.
You know what? What's crazy is in most relationships, like growing up, my mom handled all the bills.
Yeah.
My dad, did his stuff, but my mom paid everything, and that's what I grew up doing. On Fridays we'd go pay all the bills and this and that.
Yeah.
But I know Claudia deals a lot with the kids, because now with the whole pandemic, they're on virtual school and this and that, and then the issues she's going through. I pay everything. So when was it, like when she was in Poland? So in October, I had forgotten that at the beginning of October, I set up to have her truck payment pulled out.
Right.
So I get paid. I pay her truck payment,
And then
then another payment. I pay.
Shit.
So I'm like, why? I figured, maybe it was just like a double charge that would fall off. So I'm going through my emails and I'm like, shit. I'm like, okay. So I was pissed. I'm like, damn it. That was like $600 that now. And I'm like, whatever. And then I told Claudia, and like her being her, always trying to have the bright idea or, not so much negative. She goes, oh, well, at least you don't have to pay a payment next month. At least you're one payment ahead. But I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but what about that $600 that
I just paid
right
it.
now?
Yeah, I need that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I always try and do whatever I can to take the load off of her, and I try not to do what happens at work. I try not to bring home.
Yeah.
And sometimes it does, and sometimes I come home grouchy, and I'm in the shower for like an hour. She goes, why do you come here in the shower for an hour? And I'm like, you know what? I was like, I just need to get rid of work. I don't need... I'm mad at work. I'm not... Yeah. I'm going to call you next time.
No, I said I'm getting the day off of me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I thought you said getting the J off.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I've never heard you use that terminology before, Mike, but,
So every time
probably that too.
Every time I'm in the shower, I'm going to start sending you a rubber ducky.
There you go. Thinking of you.
Mm-hmm. And I never try and let what happens at work affect me, but sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Sometimes I come home and just work has just been super crazy, super hectic. Didn't get to eat lunch because it was just boom, like everything happened. And at my work, you can't if machines are down, you don't get breaks because we don't clock out for lunch. We get paid our 12.5 hours like straight. We don't clock out for lunch.
Yeah.
And they do that because say if I go out on break,
Essentially like salary-ish.
Yeah. So if I'm out there and I'm eating and something goes down, they page me, we have to go.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of what happened. And it's hard to kind of, I'm sorry, microphone. It's kind of hard. What? It's kind of hard to just leave work at home. And, but now I'm slowly, like, I always read positive quotes. So, I read something that said, what the heck? It was like, I'm not a religious person at all, but it was like something religious, like yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, and today's a gift because you're living in the present. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of took that and took my own thing on it. Like one day Claudia was stressed out, and I'm like, look, just focus on today. We have no idea what's happening tomorrow. What happened yesterday it's over. Like I can't go back to what happened yesterday and fix it.
Right.
So now it's like I try not to look too far ahead. I just try and get through from when I wake up to when I go to bed until I wake up again.
Nice. Last week we had our guest Daniel Rinaldi, and he's a clinical therapist.
Okay.
And so he mentioned one of the things he talked about was journaling, which it's so nice because when you journal and I think for guys it's probably hard to do, especially if you're not a writer
Yeah.
per se, or you're you're not used to being expressive in that way. But there is a lot. I feel like a lot of good that can come from something like journaling, or actually, I had Jesse do this, which is voice recording.
Oh,
actually, that's something that I personally do for myself, because and to Mike, air my grievances. And
Most recently, 8 minutes.
do you have
8 minutes?
So,
He just laughed.
So here's a backstory on me and Mike. Me and Mike have been friends for a long time, but with him touring, we never had a chance to hang out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, since he's not touring, we hang out a whole lot more. Mm-hmm. And I remember I had texted him, and he sent me a voice message, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll just reply with a voice message.
You're like fucking weirdo.
So I'm talking into my phone, and Claudia's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Mind your business."
Don't worry about it.
And I'm like, I feel like such an idiot. Like, I'm in a store and everyone's staring at me. Yeah, I just text back.
It's it's funny because I text Mike when he sent me this 8-minute message, and I go,
Is that the one where you had an idea? And he goes, "Oh my god!"
"No, this was actually recently.
Oh,
this was not
one.
then." So
You
he
still have it?
I don't know. Maybe. So I was like, 8 minutes, Mike. He goes, "Just listen to it when you're taking a shit or something." I was like, "I am."
No, you're like, I already took my shit, Mike.
That text message is a podcast in itself.
Yeah.
But
Mike's
yeah.
a fan of it for somebody who is so quiet though. You have a lot to say.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm a shitty texter too, because I can't just be like, if someone's talking to me and I'm doing something,
Yeah.
I can't give you a half-ass answer.
Right.
I can't do that. So and if I'm gonna sit down and do it, then whatever I'm doing, that's gonna take over what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, and so and I've like a lot of times it sucks because I feel like people are like probably like, oh, he's ghosting me, but it's like it's either that or I'm giving you like, I'm honestly not there. I'm not there to be there mentally. That's why I'm not giving you anything right now. And so when I do, that's where a lot of times it comes out and like, yeah.
And for what it's worth, Jesse and I have given Mike shit about this. Mike has so many unread messages, emails, everything on his phone. It stresses me out to see the little bubble and the number on it.
You know what's crazy about my phone? I could text anybody,
Yeah.
and I will know when someone reads it.
Oh my God.
242? What is that on?
And I took my email off of
What is that on?
notifications.
Like text messages or what?
That's text messages.
Yeah.
So how did you find mine and all of that?
'Cause I love you.
Oh.
And I looked.
Yeah.
Not that I don't love anyone else in that
Yeah, it's a lot.
242 messages.
It's a lot.
Also, in fairness, a lot of those are group texts too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Mike has the tendency to be in a group text and just not say anything for like 6 months. And then all of a sudden throw something in randomly and then disappear again.
They're like, what?
the funniest to me, it's just funny now. Whereas in Instagram, because I'm a part of, I don't even know what groups I'm a part of, but every now and then I'll come in, I'll go on I'll send it's just straight heat to you guys, and then Andrew's been the one who's called me out, I think, the most, where he's like, I already fucking sent you that, Mike.
I said that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, or he's like, that's in the other group chat, Mike. I was like, oh well,
Now it's in this one.
I didn't open that group chat.
How is your mental health doing?
I feel like I've been tired lately, but part of that is just trying to get adjusted to this new schedule that I'm on, because I'm back at the gym. I'm going in the mornings.
That's good.
And I'm on meal preps again for lunches.
Nice.
So like getting adjusted to that, I was feeling so shitty with myself just because I was not focusing on my health whatsoever. I was only focusing on all this other stuff going on. But now I'm just tired and trying to like readjust to everything. I had I told Mike about this and he's like, why would you do that? I had a moment where I just looked at like everything that we've spent this year and like looked at all the finances and everything. And Mike's like, why would you do that to yourself? I was like, I don't know.
So
Yeah.
So I have Chase Bank, and it gave me a snapshot of the year, what we spent.
Yeah.
I spent $13,842 on groceries this year.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Well, I mean, you have a whole family to feed, though. You know, like
Starve.
it's a lot of money, though.
You're like, then I remember Little Caesars exists.
Yeah, you get $5.
Oh, hot and ready's, dude.
Yeah, and then this year we spent over $6,000 on just fast food.
That's a lot too.
That is a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Department stores, it was like 28,000.
Yeah, my shopping's a big problem of mine.
Yeah,
because
I'm horrible.
Whenever I get stressed or I get like anxiety about something, it's like retail therapy.
Yeah,
like
now,
just on stuff that I'm like, why do I have?
Well, when I was texting you and you were leaving Ontario,
2 watches, Michael.
You know what?
You got 2 watches.
You got deals though.
That was I got deals.
A diver's watch.
I got deals, and it was my birthday present to myself.
You dive?
Well, he could start.
Well,
we're gonna dive right into this question.
Yeah, I bought myself 2 watches.
Is it
I
a
actually
Christmas present for you?
bought myself 3. One of them was with the Nixon code though, so for what it's worth. And that, yeah. Anyways,
I went Christmas shopping the other day and I got a pretzel.
I
take it back. I got the Blink-182 pop set of Mark, Tom, and Travis.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I did all my Christmas shopping. The last person I needed to buy for was my mom, and I could not figure out what to get her. So I asked her. And she's like, "Oh, I just like this." Like she gave me a bullshit answer. So I bought her what she said she wanted, but I also got her other stuff, and I'm like,
So my mother-in-law is really, really hard to shop for.
Yeah.
My kids, we finished up with my daughter and my son both on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, and basically finished up with my father-in-law. And Claudia's been going back and forth. What should I get my mom? So she sent me a stove. I'm like, what about your mom a fucking stove for Christmas? She goes, well, I would benefit from it too. I'm like,
it's not about you.
I'm like, how would you benefit from it? She goes, I like it. It's got the griddle in the middle. And I'm like, perfect. How much is the stove? It's like $900. And I was like, oh, sure if you want. Like, yeah. Well, can we get the matching microwave? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Whatever. That's what you want to do. It's a gift for your mom.
Yeah.
Then you change your mind.
After you bought it?
No, we didn't buy it yet.
Okay.
So legit, my mother-in-law is the last one that we really need to shop for. Claudia got a bunch of crap. Yeah.
So I'm gonna Michael laugh at this story. I was looking for a Christmas gift for my dad, and he doesn't really listen to the show. Or at least if he does, he doesn't make it this far in. So we're fine right now. But so I called him because I was at like the Pro Image or whatever, and I was like, "Yo, have you fully jumped on the Rams bandwagon? Because there's this sick, like varsity style blacked out Rams jacket." I was like, "This is hard, right?" And he's like, "Nah, like I'm still, like I might go Chargers. And I was like, interesting choice, but okay. And then he's like, and I'm gonna still keep my Georgia pride, so I'm still a UGA fan. And then he goes, but I am a Dodgers fan. And I was like, Dad, this is all you're gonna give me? Just Dodgers? He's like, I'm a Dodgers fan now, Freddie Freeman. And I'm like, fuck.
You're a Freddie Freeman fan.
Yeah, you're a Freddie Freeman. So then they go, oh, they have the same jacket, but for Dodgers, right? I was like, oh, okay, fine, I'll buy this one, right? So I have this jacket like in my mind. I go and I'm like, hey, do you guys have a large? And they're like, oh, we have a medium and a double XL. I was like, cool, can you order me a large? He's like, nah, man, only what's out here. I go, you guys don't have like a corporate store that you could get a size from? He's like, nah, it's just what's here. Wow. Fuck. So then I text Martin. I go, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just at home. I go, you want to meet up for lunch and go with me to the Dodgers store in Victoria Gardens? He's like, yes. When do you want to go? When do you want to be there? I was like, all right, so I'll be there in 30 minutes. So I drive to Victoria Gardens. They don't even have the jacket. The whole ass Dodgers store doesn't have this jacket. I can't find it. So I ended up having to buy him one online, but I spent all this time in the Dodgers store for nothing.
Why did Jeff Martin just make you one?
I thought about that too, but it'd take too long. And then I walk in and I'm wearing a Braves hat. And Martin immediately, as I walk in the door, is like, hey, Mike, you should probably take that hat off. Everybody turns and looks at me. I'm like, thanks, dude. I'm gonna keep this on right now. He's like, yo, why don't you at least turn it backwards? I was like, fuck you, Martin.
These colors don't run.
These colors don't run.
So, yeah, it was a mission to find a Dodgers jacket this weekend. So that hurt my mental health a little bit.
That wasn't my daughter's list. She gave us a list, and we told them this year, if you want, because they'll tell us, oh, we want this, we want that, oh, we want this, we want that, and we're like, hey, give us a list of stuff you want, and it's like, I look at the list, we're looking at the list, and I'm like, where the hell do I find that? Where do I find that? And I told Clyde, I'm like, half the stuff I got to buy online.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are we at the mall? And then it finds some stuff for my son and whatnot. But it's crazy because now since Claudia has an issue with her back and her leg, we have handicap parking.
Oh shit.
Oh, no.
So the parking lot's full, and I'm just
That's kind of sweet.
floop.
You just have the one that you hang on the.
Yeah. Well, I get out walking normal. She gets out with a limp. Everyone just stare as they drive by. I'm just wave.
Yeah.
But then by the time we were done with the mall, I was limping worse than she was. I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, what the...
So you're making the switch from Vans to something with more orthotics.
I've got about 6 pairs of Nikes, and I never wear them. And I just bought another pair.
Nice.
Well, they're not. I don't know what they are. Nikes or something. Claudia bought them, but they're like tennis ball green. She's like, everything you have is either black, gray, or white.
That's all I wear.
I'm like, that's what it is. So the shoes match my hat. And she's like, we gotta get you a brighter color. I'm like, all right. So she found those, and I was like, okie dokie.
You're like, whatever you say.
Whatever you say. The rule of thumb when you get married, just say, okay. Because no matter what, you're gonna argue, and no matter what, you're still gonna do what they want to do.
Facts.
Save you a lot of heartache. And just go, okay.
Yeah. All right.
I do that a lot of work. Boss tells me to do stuff. I go, okay. I still go out and do whatever I need to do. Nobody from work will watch this, so I can say that.
Well, Mike, do you want to hit Chris with some questions from your producer?
I do.
Toolbox over there.
This was kind of just a random thing. So I'm gonna read off albums that turned 20 years old this year.
Oh, I
shit,
read that.
okay.
Or I didn't read it, but I watched something.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read them off, and I don't think we have time to go through all of them, but just like if any of them stand out, then we can talk about it. But so just some of the notable. Obviously, there's way more, but some notable ones. Let Go. Avril Lavigne came out 20 years ago.
Interesting. She was replaced.
Complicate. I know.
So was Eminem.
Speaking of, the Eminem show came out 20. That's as I was looking through that one, I think that might be my favorite album.
Which, just because my memory sucks, which songs were on the Eminem show?
Eminem show had "Sing for the Moment,"
Okay.
"Cleaning Out My Closet."
Okay.
Actually, let me just pull
Was
it up.
Stan on that one too?
I don't think so. I think Stan was the one before that. Curtain Up, White America, Business, Cleaning Out My Closet, Square Dance, Soldier. Actually, Soldier's I think
Soldier.
might be one of my favorite
I
Eminem
remember
songs.
Soldier.
Say Goodbye to Hollywood, Drips, Without Me,
Okay.
Sing for the Moment, Superman, Haley's Song, When the Music Stops, Say What You Say, Till I Collapse, which we got flagged on today.
Yeah. Yeah.
My Dad's Gone Crazy, and Curtains Closed.
There were some bangers on that record then.
Yeah.
There was.
So Eminem show, and then Process of Belief, Bad Religion, Sticks and Stones, Newfound Glory,
Wow.
Kings of Pop, Homegrown, American Paradox, Strung Out,
Wow.
The Illusion of Safety, Thrice,
Yeah.
Sounding of the Seventh Trumpet, Avenged Sevenfold,
Holy shit.
and then a ton of random, I think this was which is, it's hurtful because of my graduation year, but I think my graduation year from high school was the birth of emo. Emo arrived.
Yeah.
Taking Back Sunday, I mean, Tell All Your Friends, and then The Used.
What year did you graduate?
2002. We graduated in 2002.
Actually, I didn't.
No?
I didn't graduate high school.
Oh.
I was stupid and didn't graduate. And at 29 years old, went to adult school.
Yeah, GD.
Yeah, I had to get my GD to go work where I work.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah. So anyway, of those, or if there's one that you just know trivia wise that off the top of your head, any of those albums stand out? Also, Nelly, I think I saw that Nelly released.
Nellyville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a big one for me. I remember going to the record store in San Francisco to buy it, wearing Timberland boots.
And your do-rag?
I probably had a do-rag in my pocket, but I wasn't wearing it.
I was at 7-Eleven the other day, and I saw a do-rag.
Gee, you should have got it. Was it the split down the middle two-tone?
Mm-hmm. I was going to get it. Bring it to you, make you wear it on the show, but...
I would have.
Any albums stick out to you, Chris?
I think for that era, like, because you said the Used and Taking Back Sundays, like, first records came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
2002, that was like... I think that was right around the same time that, like, Boxcar Racer came out with their... You know who Boxcar Racer is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it was right around the same time they did, and the Transplants. I can't be for certain, but I know right around 2002, 2003, 4 is...
Yeah, 2003. It was funny because I was looking, and as I was like trying to like first I was searching bands that I was into. I was like, oh, which ones? I feel like everyone came out like 2003 was a big year.
Yeah.
2001 and 2003 were big years for albums.
Yeah.
2002 for whatever reason wasn't. That's crazy.
So at that time, I think I was like a sophomore in high school. I think I was a sophomore in high school. And I was just like, I was like a R&B hip hop kid, but I was just starting to get into like right there, that wave of like emo music.
In like
and
2003?
Like 2002, 2003, yeah.
Jesse just started kindergarten.
Yeah. Jesse was in, well, let's see what, first grade? Was it first grade?
No.
No way, really?
Ugh.
That's all right. That means you'll outlive all of us.
Well, because you're 25, right? So, yeah, first grade,
Dang.
right?
A long time ago.
Because if I was in 11th grade, oh no, 10th grade, yeah, first grade. We're all here doing math. I should know this. I'm Asian.
I think for me the album is the one that stuck out for me was Illusion of Safety.
Yeah.
Because that was my first realization of like, oh, punk is gonna die.
I found Thrice later, like later. Actually, it wasn't. I found Thrice when I came here. But yeah, I the first time I heard that record, I was like, oh shit.
Williams turned me on to Thrice.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Felix turned me on to Thrice.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that was the whole Second Chance. Phil was Thrice.
Yeah. Identity Crisis and First Impressions, or EP First Impression, like those were in like the circle of our friends. Like we had just discovered it, and it was like that weird crossover, like punk hardcore metal band.
Yeah.
And like I was on the fence. I've always liked lyrically. I've always been fascinated by how he wrote. But that album though, for me, I was just like, fuck, this is perfect. This is like a perfect album. And like that was like the album that I was just like, I want to start writing more metal riffs, because like bands like Strung Out and like that, like I would try to like riff like them, but I couldn't. Thrice was more obtainable because it was like a more slower tempo, and so they actually had like riffs I could actually listen to. Whereas I felt like Strung Out was like too fast.
Strung Out, another band. Strung Out I didn't get into until I was in Creative Void, and like
Really?
Jake and Steve put me on to Strung Out.
This is a kind of fun fact, or I don't know if it's that fun, but so the opening track on American Paradox is Velvet Alley, and Chris and I straight up ripped that song off for the No Bragging Rights song, Broken Bottles. Straight up ripped that, like that riff idea.
Chris is very open about his pure ripping off of other bands.
Yeah, because we were jamming, and I was like, that sounds. He's like, well, they play it here. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Chris will be like, yeah, 90% of Creative Void is just Dave Matthews Band riffs that I fucking made metal.
That'd be funny.
I don't want to expose a hardcore band that we know, but they said a lot of their breakdown and riffs it's from hip hop. Straight
Yeah.
up ripping
Really?
off hip hop stuff.
Yeah, they just listen to hip hop songs, and then
Yeah, I'll tell you off camera because I don't know if it's common knowledge.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing I want to end with, and last time we got to talk about it a little bit, and it was just the story about your friend,
Yes.
and I think the reason, we talked about this before last time and previous times, but I think it's just important because I feel like regardless of the outcome, I feel like everyone has had those moments where they've walked away from something with some kind of regret,
Yeah.
In my case, I felt that way with my buddy Will. But in your case, for your story, I think it's valuable because, I guess I'll let you tell your story, but I think there's a lot of good, that can come from something tragic that you went through.
The elongated version or the short one?
Whatever's clever.
Whatever you want to do.
So you both know I had a friend named TJ, and super young kid, full of energy, but struggled really, really bad with depression. To where when I met him, I had no idea, just because he was always laughing and always carrying on, and he always wanted to be the one to make someone laugh or be the limelight. And I never knew until one day he called me and wanted to come over. And so once he came over, it kind of clicked that what he was going through. And so I guess he found comfort in me. And at that time, we'd only been friends for maybe 6 months. And I kind of felt weird. I'm like, barely know me. Why would you be opening up like so much? But I never said that to him. I just let him, speak. I never said nothing. I just kind of let him speak his mind, and gave him the best advice as I could. And I always told him, if you ever need to talk, dude, just fucking come over.
Yeah.
Knock on the door, come over. Don't even call. I don't care what time it is. Dude, just come. And he would. And he would stay the night, and his mom and dad always knew where he was. So they kind of, if he left, they would automatically text me, hey, TJ left. I might be coming to your house. Let us know if he's there. So I'd always let his mom and dad know, hey, he's here. He's fine. Don't worry about him.
Nice.
So then he kind of seemed like he would get better, and then he'd fall down a rabbit hole, and it was always over a girl. Like, he'd get so upset. I don't think he liked being alone. And so he lived in Riverside, right down the street from me. So he was only maybe 5 minutes from my old place. And he started having people move in to his house that I knew from other people that they weren't good people.
They're just bad company.
Yeah, not good. And I'm like, dude, like, why would you have those people in your house, man? He goes, I need help with rent. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, but you can find better people.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I'm like, dude, if you can't afford it, let the house go. Like, break your lease.
Yeah.
And he always kept trying to get me and Claudia to move in. I'm like, dude, I got kids. I can't be around riffraff, parties, none of that. And so it kept going on and on. And I had gone over there, and I had found out one of the guys was dealing drugs. And I got pissed, and I walked out and slammed the door. And he rushed out after me, and I turned and looked at him, and I told him, as long as those people are there, I cannot come around, talk to you, or be involved with you in any way, because if you go down, they're going to take me down with you. And it's all, if I go to jail, I lose everything. And got in my truck, and I left. Like 2 weeks later, I got a call that he shot himself. So it was, and I thought one of our buddies was messing around with me. And it was, like, it didn't hit me at first, and it was on Halloween. And I remember I mentioned this on episode 1. That's the same night that Mitch Lucker crashed his motorcycle that I found out. And so I tried to process stuff, and I called my buddy that had texted me. And he goes, no, man, really happened. This, and I'm like, let me call you back. Like, this you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Like somebody's fucking with me.
Yeah.
Right now. Like this is not.
Like I knew he was mentally unstable sometimes, but I never thought he would go like to that extreme. And we're taking the kids trick or treating, and it got to the point to where we're like, you know what, we're done. Kids were small anyways. We went back to her parents' house, and when we went to her parents' house, like it hit, and then I'm like a kid pissed off that they can't get a toy, screaming, crying, looking at the sky, asking, why the fuck would you do this? And it it messed with me a lot, because it was like the last thing I said to him was, as long as those people are in your house, I can't be involved with you. Didn't even give him a chance to say nothing, got my truck, and I left. But it was like, at the time, that's what I needed to do for my family. And I thought in my mind, I really thought, if I did that, he always used to call me his big brother. If I did that, it would click in his head, shit, okay, maybe
I fucked up.
Maybe I need to get them out of my house. Yeah. Maybe I need. And so, deep in my mind, and this happened 10 years ago, deep in my mind, I always feel, shit, if I wouldn't have said that, would he still be alive? Would he still be around? Would he have, done what he did? Yeah. So it's kind of like part of guilt, part of maybe it was just like it would have happened anyways, or so it's kind of a hard bone to swallow when that's the last thing I said, and every time he had an issue, I was the only one that he ran to.
Right.
And then that comfort that he had was gone. So it's kind of like, for the longest time, I kind of blamed myself, and everyone was like, dude, you can't do that. You can't do that. Because everybody knew how close me and him were. Mm-hmm. So it's still like a touchy subject. He had just turned 21, so he was super young, had a full life ahead of him, and it's just something that if I could go back, I would do things totally different, but I can't.
I think the unfortunate part is, like, especially when you deal with situations where, it's suicide or it's somebody taking their own life, or what's the TikTok term for it now? Unaliving.
Yeah.
Unaliving.
Yeah.
I
don't know if that's
I don't have TikTok, just to put that out there.
Commonly used phrase now. But anytime you come across these scenarios, right? There's always this, like, there's a few different sides to this, right? There's the person who's going through it, the person who made that decision to take their own life. But then there's also the people who are left behind.
Yeah.
Right. Family, friends. And then everybody has some sort of guilt, whether it's valid or not, right? Like, what could I have done? Yeah. And even when somebody passes, like, in not as traumatic of a way, even if it's natural causes, somebody passed in their sleep, whatever, there's always this, like, I wish I could have done this. I wish I had been there. I wish I had not said what I said, and the unfortunate part is, like, it's easy for us to say outside of it, to go like, hey man, you can't put that on yourself, right? No. You can't put that on yourself because, at the time you were doing what you felt was right? And then, and
it's coming from a place of love.
It wasn't like you're trying to be a dick. It was just, hey man, like you have to sort this out. Like, only you can help yourself in this scenario, and I can't associate with these people, right? But it also, from another standpoint, sucks, because at the same time you're like, well, yeah, it's easy to say that, but I still wish I had been there. I still wish he had reached out to me. I still wish, all this stuff had happened. And I think that's, like, the toughest part about it. I think early on this podcast, we talked about that Joyner Lucas song, I'm Sorry. Mm-hmm. I think it's called I'm Sorry. And if you watch the music video, and if you guys haven't had a chance to watch the music video, it's the perspective of the first verse is the person going through it. The second verse is the person who was left behind. Gotcha. Right? And, like, there's this whole the different layers of emotions where it's like, I'm upset that you're gone, but I'm fucking so mad at you for doing this, but I hope you're in a better place, but I'm still, and it's just this roller coaster ride of emotions that, like, and even now, like, it's been 10 years, but I'm sure that it's still, like, the sting and the hurt is still there, like, when you think about it.
Yeah. And you know what the crazy thing is is I used to have dreams about him all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And in my dreams, I would ask him, why'd you do it? And I'd wake up.
Yeah.
You know, why'd you do it? Or in my dreams seemed so real. Like I could hear his voice. I could hear him talking. We'd be talking. But as soon as I brought that up, my dream would end and I'd wake up. Didn't matter what time in the morning it was or in the middle of the night. I'd automatically wake up. And when we moved from our old place to where we are now, I had seen him in our room, and I don't know why, but I at our old place I'd always like see him out of the corner of my eye, or his hat. Like I took a bunch of his hats, and his hats would be moved, and I'm like, whatever, you know. So, but where we're at now, I had seen him, and I out of like the corner of my eye, and I forget what I was doing, and I told him, I said, hey man, you need to go, like you can't stick around me forever, like you need to go, you need to like be free, you need to go.
Yeah.
And since then, I've never seen him, and I haven't had one dream about him. That was about 9 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a trip. But no joke, when it first happened, at least 2 to 3 times a week I was having dreams about him. And once I said that, they all stopped. Like flat
Do you think part of that was
stopped.
you letting go too?
Maybe.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
hey man, like it's been a year. I've kind of mourned you for this year, and we both have to kind of move on
Yeah.
from this. Yeah.
And it's like I didn't go to his funeral. His parents still won't talk to me because they knew how close we were. But I told them I don't go to funerals.
Yeah.
You know, in my mind, I want to remember the person as they were, not how they are.
So they're mad at you for not going to the funeral?
Yeah,
That's a bummer. They don't respect that.
Yeah, they were mad.
That's tough, man, because you can't, like,
Everyone handles loss differently.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, they were really, really mad.
And I completely get that too. Like, I don't want to remember him like this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't want to remember you in this way. I want to remember you fucking laughing and smiling. And,
Exactly.
You know, yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So it's just one of those things where it's if there's anybody out there that struggling like that, there's numbers. I think they have a new number, 988,
988.
something like that. I saw that online, and I don't know if you ever mentioned this in the podcast. I've watched all of them. That Hot Topic has a suicide prevention hotline now too.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about it on one of the. We had the card.
That's a long time ago. And you know what? And I don't know who was watching this far, but if you guys saw the episode with Andrew, the question I asked him was actually about TJ.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Interesting.
That was like episode, like maybe 10.
Andrew was on earlier on.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was on pretty early.
And to answer your question, Andrew, I'm not mean. I'm just bluntly honest.
You know, with something to bring this back is, you know, when we lose someone like that, like that, like suicide just hits different. Like it just does. You know, I feel like we've all experienced different kind of losses, natural causes, or even accidents. Suicide hits different. But I think one of the things that, you know, in talking with you and then, you know, conversations we've had with our friends is, you know, like there's nothing we can do after it happens, right? Nothing, we can't go back and can't go change it. All we can kind of do moving forward is you know, we can do things on our end where even if it's just a conversation, making yourself available, you know, reaching out, you know, like for my, you know, my situation, losing my friend was a little bit different as far as like regret, but I still carried a ton of regret.
Yeah.
You know, because I did the whole, I could have done this, or I should have seen this, or, you know, yeah, like the first year of talk, like a lot of people hear my polished version of what I talk about on stage.
Yeah.
But there was a whole year before that where I was
Just rambling.
ranting.
Yeah.
I was like mad at him one night. One night I was sad, and then, you know, working through it because I didn't know it hit me in a way that nothing had hit me before. And so, you know, as sad as that moment was, and as hard as it was, I try to talk about it now when I can. I know you've had conversations, and so I think the way we move on from something like this is, you honor them by living your life the best you can, educating yourself as best you can on something like this. Like this is something that is going to forever be explored, forever be learned about, and just when you feel, at least I'm speaking for myself, just when I feel like I'm having like a breakthrough and I feel like I'm understanding something and I'm like, oh man, like I'm about to crack this kite, and then something happens that just completely reminds me of like, you have no idea what someone's going through.
You don't know shit.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason.
See, and I've always thought the difference between someone passing away naturally and suicide is, and I've seen like different videos and I've heard different people talk is, I'll go back when Claudia's baby cat got hit by a car and died. Claudia was upset because she goes, I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And it's like, it kind of like, I think that's kind of like the same way I felt with TJ. It's like, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. Yeah. It's like no one knew. Like, it's different with a suicide, and you it's unexpected. So if someone's getting old, they're sick, you kind of prepare yourself.
Right.
So like with someone, of course, when anybody dies, it's sad, but they're two totally different reactions. Yeah. And I go back with what Claudia said, how she goes, I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye, and that's what upset her the most. She goes, if I knew something was going to happen, she goes, it's different. She goes, but I didn't have a chance to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that kind of like it's set into me when she said that. I was like, oh, it's kind of like TJ. I didn't get to fucking say goodbye.
Yeah.
And I feel like that obviously it feels nice, but I think at the end of the day, it still hurts.
Yeah.
And it's still like, I feel like no time is ever enough time. My grandmother was, I feel she was like in her 80s when she passed, and she had a stroke, and we all got to say goodbye to her.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't think she was conscious anymore, but we all had that really beautiful moment where we all got to say, I got to say thank you, and my mom and everyone, we got to say things, and we all got to pray and be there with her. The minute she flatlined, that all went out the window.
Yeah, it is.
Screaming, crying.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it is nice to have that. You can tell yourself later on, I think, to be like, oh, I got to say bye. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's still separation. It's still loss.
Yeah.
And it's like,
absolutely.
I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, like it's crazy because so there's been two really important people in my life that have passed away that I was the last person to talk to them, right? Mm-hmm. Like I was the last person, and it doesn't, I mean, like I guess there's a little bit of like, yeah, I got to say what I needed to say, but at the same time, you're right. Like you still feel every single emotion that you felt, right? Yeah. Like, yeah, later on down the line, you might go like, oh, cool. Like I was able to, say goodbye or, whatever, but it doesn't change how you feel.
Yeah. I try to find, like I said, I got to say like bye. I knew she was gonna pass and stuff, but I rewind it back to like my cousin's birthday party when she was there, and I just said I just told her, I love you a lot. I take that as my goodbye. Even though whatever, like, so I don't know. I just think when it comes to the idea of loss and timing, we're not promised anything here.
And that's one reason why I try to not. There's a lot of people, oh, I'll never talk to that person again. They hold on to grudges so mad. I try to not hold on to any grudges.
Yeah.
Even if I've had issues with people, like I have not so much mended ends, but there's no bad blood with really anybody. Even if I haven't talked to them, like I've like mentally let it go. So there's no, like, I try not to like hold grudges or be mad at anything, or like even if I argue with someone, I always, before I go to sleep, I always try and make sure before I go to
things are okay.
Things are okay before, even if it's not okay, at least I'm gonna call you and be
Yeah.
like, hey man, tomorrow, like, what happened. At least try to, because that's like one thing you don't want to do is be mad at someone and then I'll talk to him tomorrow, and then what happens if tomorrow never comes?
I don't like letting shit linger.
No,
I'm
know.
very much a person like, we need to fucking solve this right now. Like, we need to hash this out right now.
Yeah.
Like, let's get it done and get it over with. And then once it's done, I'm like, yo, it's
Yeah.
like, I'm not mad. It's cool.
One of the interesting things from I'm reading in an interview, Strung Out they'd parted ways with their bass player, and I believe it was the singer Jason, where he was kind of like, he was okay being like mad and bitter, because he's like, we're friends, we're gonna eventually get over this.
Yeah.
And then he died.
Fuck.
Their bass player died, and so like, I don't know, I guess going on the whole, like, there's no, at the end of the day, what does holding that kind of, resentment and over what, at the end of the day, like, I'm so thankful that I've had, I have good relationship with ex-band members,
Yeah.
because I'm sure at some point there was a lot of, like I like to think on my end, for any past member, for me, I'm like, if I saw them again, we're good on my end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine.
If you got a problem that you might have with
Yeah,
yourself.
that's how I feel with like a lot of.
I remember the craziest, I think the craziest era was when Chris left, right? And
Yeah.
like the kind of bad blood for a little bit, like, that was there. I was just like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
Like, this is real weird.
Yeah.
You know?
And that at the time too, and I obviously later on we got to talk, and everyone understood what it was. Like, for me, that was hard in the sense that, like, it wasn't even that I didn't want him in the band. I just knew that he needed to
go home.
Yeah,
He needed
and he's
to not be here.
Yeah. And so, but I'm proud of that, because selfishly, I would have never have asked him to leave. Yeah. Selfishly, for me, that would have been selfish for me to be, and I think, in your case, a selfish thing for you would have just been like, I'm gonna just be okay with him living with these shitty people, and I'm gonna just pretend like it's fine, to not ruffle anything. But you care about him, so you said what you said.
Yeah. On a good note, this is a beautiful studio.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. We didn't bring it up this time around. This studio would, like, legitimately, a huge part of this happening was this guy.
His literal sweat and
literal,
tears are in here.
Literal, lots of sweat.
Lots of sweat.
Probably a little bit of blood.
And Jesse.
And
Jesse.
And
shirtless Jesse.
Yeah,
shirtless
Jesse. Yeah, this place came together through the help of Chris right here, because especially because we decided to build this in the middle of summer.
Yes.
And
horrible.
It was horrible. It was hot.
I had an ice chest full of refreshments.
Yep. Ice chest.
I
full
had
of
slave labor because I used my son.
Yeah.
He was volunteering.
Yeah.
And I had Claudia in here trying to not sweat.
Tape and mud and stuff, It was, and I think that there was a lot of like us just being homies. We're just like, let's just do this, right?
Yeah.
And then we didn't we didn't fully converse and sit down and go like, this is the easiest route to do things, right?
Oh,
We're
yeah,
just like,
cool.
let's do this.
What do you want? Oh yeah, no problem.
So like I think like it turned out so sick, but it could have been way easier on the both of us if we'd have just sat down and been like, all right, here's the plan.
Yeah.
Texture on the walls. Like this, this is what we're gonna do. This is where we're gonna put shit. This is where we're gonna place everything, right? But it's
it's beautiful.
It's rad. Like everybody that has stepped foot in here or has seen the final product has always just been like, this was not what I was expecting. Like, what the fuck, man? It looks good in here. Like,
at least you got an air conditioner in here now.
Yeah.
I could have used that when I was doing it.
Well, what sucks
it
was
got to one point where it was so hot. I walked in here and I was staring down at it, and I'm like, how hard would it be to hot wire that?
Yeah, the thing that sucked the most was that like the electricity wasn't hooked up until the end, right? So we couldn't even just like even bring in like a bunch of fans or anything.
Then
like that. We kept tripping the outlet.
At one point, it went, whoa. And I'm like, dude, there's no fans. I got to do something.
It was so incredibly hot.
The days that you were here and I was at work, I would text Crime like, "Is everything okay? Do they have drinks? Is there ice out there?
Is he alive?
Is there movement back there?
Yeah. The cameras are unplugged, so I can't tell what's going on back there."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Then I got you in trouble with the HOA because I left my trailer.
oh yeah, HOA was like, "Hey, just a heads up. I don't know if this is because you're building that shed back there, but you're not allowed to store trailers in the driveway." And I was like, "It's for the trailer, or it's for the shed in the back."
As a matter of fact, I'm moving.
Yeah. I was like, "What?" Yeah. So, but all in all, man, with this studio came together in huge part because of you.
Yeah.
So
Very glad I could help.
fucking sick. Yeah, man.
So sweet. Thank you, Mijo.
If you guys need work done, look at this guy.
I still walk in here and I'm kind of like shocked because
I'm a trip because when I came that first morning, I walked in here and I was like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
Yeah.
Then I needed help, and the last day I hit up Jesse. I'm like, hey, dude, you want to make $100? He goes, oh, I'm at a wedding. I'm all, shit.
Yeah, it got to this weird crunch time at the end where
It did.
was like, because I think I was leaving for a wedding.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and then we were just trying to get shit done, and then you were getting ready to go on vacation, I think.
Yeah, I was going back out to Arizona.
Yeah. So we were like, fuck, we get this
I'm like, your
done.
neighbors are going to care if they hear a compressor, right?
I was like, at this point, I don't care. I don't. You just.
It was like 10 o'clock. Saws are going.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was fun, though. It was fun.
It ended up coming together sick.
Did the floor already get messed up?
No. It's a knot in the wood.
Hmm.
Yeah.
is it
Is it from
not supposed to be there?
You better not mention that again.
You better not bring that up. But yeah, man. We love you and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
And
Love
you
guys.
didn't want to come when the first episode that we recorded fucked up. You were like, "Oh, maybe it's a sign to not come back." We're like, "Fuck you! You have to come back and be on the show. Shut up and just go."
You're coming
He was
back.
like, I was telling them, like at one point, you and I were
So
texting,
maybe it's a sign.
and I was like, "Yeah, dude, just come on 12." He's like, "I don't know, like it's cool, dude. Like, don't worry about it." And I was like, "Shut up, be there on the 12."
I didn't even reply for like 2 days. I was like, I'm going to leave that message there. We're going to let it boil over for
Shut up and show up on the 12.
On his way here, he tried pulling that nonsense. He was like, I think it's a sign. I'm like,
I think it's a sign, dude.
I didn't even respond to it. I was just like, we'll see you when you get here.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Yeah. Then I did. The traffic was horrible. And it's stupid. With no traffic, I'm 15 minutes from you.
Yeah, it's
With
just that-
traffic, 45.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we love you. Thank you for
Love
being
you.
here. Fucking, I'm glad we got to get this, and we got you on
love the
like a
shirt.
cool episode. 55.
Yeah. And remember, shooting stars are spaceships going from one dimension to another.
1,000%.
1,000%. Think about it.
Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe at Walking Blind Pod, Walking Blind Podcast at gmail.com. Hit up this guy if you guys need any projects, work done.
Mr. Beast Plumbing.
There it is. We love you
Instagram,
guys.
slapping the bass. In case
Slapping
you're
the
wondering.
bass.
A lot
What's the number at
of
the
our
end?
questions come in from the
Slapping the Base 83.
83. There you go. Yeah. We love you. We love you guys. We got to see you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.
Back again. No way to handle my aggression.